Today from our archive we bring the history of Stevie Wonder, an American and Ghanaian singer-songwriter, musician, and record producer. He is regarded as one of the most influential musicians of the 20th century. Wonder is credited as a pioneer and influenced by musicians across a range of genres that include R&B, pop, soul, gospel, funk, and jazz. He was born Stevland Hardaway Judkins on May 13, 1950, in Saginaw, Michigan, the third of 5 children born to Lula Mae Hardaway, and the second of Hardaway's 2 children with Calvin Judkins. Wonder was born 6 weeks premature, a condition that, along with the oxygen-rich atmosphere in the hospital incubator, resulted in retinopathy of prematurity, a disease that aborts eye growth and often causes the retinas to detach, which left him blind. When Wonder was 4, his mother divorced his father and moved with her 3 children to Detroit. Wonder attended Whitestone Baptist Church where he sang in the choir and became a soloist at age 8. His mother later rekindled her relationship with her first child's father, changed her name back to Lula Hardaway, and had 2 more children. Wonder began playing instruments at an early age, including piano, harmonica, and drums. He formed a singing partnership with a friend, calling themselves Stevie and John. They played on street corners and occasionally at parties and dances. Wonder attended Fitzgerald Elementary School in Detroit. He enrolled in Michigan School for the Blind in Lansing, Michigan. In 1961, at the age of 11, Wonder sang his own composition, Lonely Boy, to Ronnie White of the Miracles. White then took Wonder and his mother to an audition at Motown, where CEO Berry Gordy signed Wonder to Motown's Tamla label. Before signing, producer Clarence Paul gave him the name Little Stevie Wonder. Because of Wonder's age, the label drew up a rolling 5-year contract in which royalties would be held in trust until Wonder was 21. He and his mother would be paid a weekly stipend to cover their expenses. Wonder received $2.50 per week, and a private tutor was provided when Wonder was on tour. Wonder was put in the care of producer and songwriter Clarence Paul, and for a year they worked together on 2 albums. Tribute to Uncle Ray was recorded first, when Wonder was still 11 years old. Mainly covers of Ray Charles's songs, the album included a Wonder and Paul composition, Sunset. The Jazz Soul of Little Stevie was recorded next, an instrumental album consisting mainly of Paul's compositions, 2 of which, Wondering and Session Number 112, were co-written with Wonder. Feeling Wonder was now ready. A song, Mother Thank You, was recorded for release as a single, but then pulled and replaced by the Berry Gordy song, I Call It Pretty Music, but the Old People Call It the Blues, as his debut single. Released summer 1962, it almost broke into the Billboard 100, spending 1 week of August at 101. 2 follow-up singles, Little Water Boy and Contract on Love, both had no success, and the 2 albums, released in reverse order of recording the Jazz Soul of Little Stevie in September 1962 and Tribute to Uncle Ray in October 1962, also met with little success. At the end of 1962, when Wonder was 12 years old, he joined the Motortown Revue, touring the Chitlines circuit of theaters across America that accepted black artists. At the Regal Theater, Chicago, his 20-minute performance was recorded and released in May 1963 as the album recorded live, The 12-Year-Old Genius. A single, Fingertips, from the album was also released in May, and became a major hit. The song, featuring a confident and enthusiastic Wonder returning for a spontaneous encore that catches out the replacement bass player, who is heard to call out "What key? What key?" was a #1 hit on the Billboard Hot 100 when Wonder was aged 13, making him the youngest artist ever to top the chart. The single was simultaneously number one on the R&B chart the first time that had occurred. His next few recordings were not successful, his voice was changing as he got older, and some Motown executives were considering canceling his recording contract. During 1964, Wonder appeared in two films as himself, Muscle Beach Party and Bikini Beach, but these were not successful either. Motown producer, songwriter Sylvia Moy persuaded label owner Berry Gordy to give Wonder another chance, dropping the "little" from his name. Moy and Wonder worked together to create the hit Uptight. And Wonder went on to have a number of other hits during the mid-1960s, including With a Child's Heart and Blowin' in the Wind, a Bob Dylan song, co-sung by his mentor, producer Clarence Paul. He also began to work in the Motown songwriting department, composing songs both for himself and his label mates, including The Tears of a Clown, a number one hit for Smokey Robinson and the Miracles. It was first released in 1967, mostly unnoticed as the last track of their make. It Happened LP, but eventually became a major success when re-released as a single in 1970, which prompted Robinson to reconsider his intention of leaving the group. In 1968, Wonder recorded an album of instrumental soul, jazz tracks, mostly harmonica solos, under the title Yvette's Redno, which is Stevie Wonder, spelled backward. The album failed to get much attention, and its only single, a cover of Burt Bacharach's and Hal David's Alfie, only reached number 66 on the U.S. pop charts and number 11 on the U.S. adult contemporary charts. Nonetheless, he managed to score several hits between 1967 and 1970 such as I Was Made to Love Her, For Once in My Life, and Signed, Sealed, Delivered I'm Yours. A number of Wonder's early hits, including My Cherie Amour, I Was Made to Love Her, and Uptight, were co-written with Henry Cosby. The hit single, Signed, Sealed, Delivered I'm Yours, was Wonder's first ever self-produced song. In 1969, Wonder participated in the Sanremo Music Festival in Italy with the song, Sei tu ragazzo mio, in conjunction with Gabriella Ferri. Between 1967 and 1970, he recorded 445 revolutions per minute singles and an Italian LP. Wonder's appearance at the 1969 Harlem Cultural Festival opens the 2021 music documentary, Summer of Soul. Wonder plays a drum solo during his set. In September 1970, at the age of 20, Wonder married Sarita Wright, a songwriter and former Motown secretary. Wright and Wonder worked together on the next album, Where I'm Coming From, Wonder writing the music, and Wright helping with the lyrics. Around this time, Wonder became interested in utilizing synthesizers after hearing albums by electronic group Tonto's Expanding Head Band. Wonder and Wright wanted to touch on the social problems of the world, and for the lyrics to mean something. The album was released at around the same time as Marvin Gaye's What's Going On. As both albums had similar ambitions and themes, they have been compared. In a contemporaneous review by Vince Aletti in Rolling Stone, Gaye's was seen as successful, while Wonder's was seen as failing due to self-indulgent and cluttered production, undistinguished and pretentious lyrics, and an overall lack of unity and flow. Also in 1970, Wonder co-wrote the hit It's a Shame for fellow Motown act The Spinners. His contribution was meant to be a showcase of his talent and thus a weapon in his ongoing negotiations with Gordy about creative autonomy. Reaching his 21st birthday on May 13, 1971, Wonder allowed his Motown contract to expire. During this period, Wonder independently recorded 2 albums and signed a new contract with Motown Records. The 120-page contract was a precedent at Motown and gave Wonder a much higher royalty rate. He returned to Motown in March 1972 with Music of My Mind. Unlike most previous albums on Motown, which usually consisted of a collection of singles, B-sides and covers, Music of My Mind was a full-length artistic statement with songs flowing together thematically. Wonder's lyrics dealt with social, political, and mystical themes as well as standard romantic ones, while musically he began exploring overdubbing and recording most of the instrumental parts himself. Music of My Mind marked the beginning of a long collaboration with Tonto's Expanding Head Band, and with lyricist Yvonne Wright. In late 1972, Wonder's album Talking Book featured the #1 hit Superstition, which is one of the most distinctive and famous examples of the sound of the Hohner clavinet keyboard. Talking Book also featured You Are the Sunshine of My Life, which also peaked at No. 1. During the same time as the album's release, Wonder began touring with the Rolling Stones to alleviate the negative effects from being pigeonholed as an R&B artist in America. His touring with the Stones was also a factor behind the success of both Superstition and You Are the Sunshine of My Life. Between them, the two songs won 3 Grammy Awards. On an episode of the children's television show Sesame Street that aired in April, Wonder and his band performed Superstition, as well as an original called Sesame Street Song, which demonstrated his abilities with television. Wonder's studio album Innervisions, released in 1973, featured Higher Ground, as well as the trenchant Living for the City. Both songs reached #1 on the R&B charts. Popular ballads such as Golden Lady and All in Love is Fair were also present, in a mixture of moods that nevertheless held together as a unified whole. Innervisions generated 3 more Grammy Awards, including Album of the Year. The album is ranked number 34 on Rolling Stone's 500 Greatest Albums of All Time. Wonder had become the most influential and acclaimed black musician of the early 1970s. On August 6, 1973, Wonder was injured in a serious automobile accident while on tour in North Carolina, when a car in which he was riding hit the back of a truck. This left him in a coma for 4 days and resulted in a partial loss of his sense of smell and a temporary loss of sense of taste. Despite orders from his doctor to refrain from performing, Wonder performed at a homecoming benefit for Shaw University in Raleigh, in November 1973. Shaw was facing financial difficulties. So Wonder, who was a member of the university's board of trustees, rallied other acts including Exuma, LaBelle, and the Chambers Brothers to join the concert, which raised more than $10,000 for the school's scholarship fund. Wonder embarked on a European tour in early 1974, performing in France at the Midem Convention in Cannes, in England at the Rainbow Theatre in London, and on the German television show Musikladen. On his return to the United States, he played a sold-out concert at Madison Square Garden in March 1974, highlighting both up-tempo material and long, building improvisations on mid-tempo songs such as Living for the City. The album fulfilling this first finale appeared in July 1974 and set 2 hits high on the pop charts, the No. 1, You Haven't Done Nothin', and the top 10, Boogie on Reggae Woman. The album of the year was again one of 3 Grammys won. The same year, Wonder took part in a Los Angeles jam session with ex-Beatles John Lennon and Paul McCartney that would become known as the bootleg album A Toot and a Snore in '74. He also co-wrote and produced the 1974 Syreeta Wright album Stevie Wonder Presents Syreeta. On October 4, 1975, Wonder performed at the historic Wonder Dream Concert in Kingston, Jamaica, a benefit for the Jamaican Institute for the Blind. In 1975, he played harmonica on 2 tracks on Billy Preston's album It's My Pleasure. By 1975, at the age of 25, Wonder had won 2 consecutive Grammy Awards, in 1974 for Innervisions and in 1975 for fulfilling his first finale. In 1976, when Paul Simon won the Album of the Year Grammy for his Still Crazy After All These Years, he wryly noted, "I'd like to thank Stevie Wonder, who didn't make an album this year." The double album with extra EP, Songs in the Key of Life, was released in September 1976. Sprawling in style and sometimes lyrically difficult to fathom. The album was hard for some listeners to assimilate, yet is regarded by many as Wonder's crowning achievement and one of the most recognizable and accomplished albums in pop music history. The album became the first by an American artist to debut straight at number 1 in the Billboard charts, where it stood for 14 non-consecutive weeks. 2 tracks became No. 1 pop R&B hits, I Wish and Sir Duke. The baby celebratory, Isn't She Lovely, was written about his newborn daughter Aisha, while songs such as Love's in Need of Love Today and Village Ghetto Land reflected a far more pensive mood. Songs in the Key of Life won Album of the Year and 2 other Grammys. The album ranks 4th on Rolling Stone's 500 Greatest Albums of All Time. Also in 1976, Wonder heard about the demonstration of the Kurzweil reading machine, the first multifont reading machine for the blind, on the Today Show, and later became the user of the first production unit, beginning a long-term association between himself and Ray Kurzweil. Until 1979's Stevie Wonder's journey through The Secret Life of Plants, his only further 1970s release was the retrospective 3-disc album Looking Back, an anthology of his early Motown period. The mainly instrumental soundtrack album Stevie Wonder's Journey Through The Secret Life of Plants was composed using an early music sampler called a computer music melodian. It was also his first digital recording, and one of the earliest popular albums to use the technology, which Wonder used for all subsequent recordings. Wonder toured briefly with an orchestra in support of the album, and used a Fairlight CMI sampler on stage. In this year Wonder also wrote and produced the dance hit Let's Get Serious, performed by Jermaine Jackson and ranked by Billboard as the No. 1 R&B single of 1980. Hotter Than July became Wonder's first platinum-selling single album, and its single, Happy Birthday, was a successful vehicle for his campaign to establish Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday as a national holiday. The album also included Master Blaster, I Ain't Gonna Stand for It, and the sentimental ballad, Lately. In 1982, Wonder released a retrospective of his 1970s work with Stevie Wonder's original Musicarium, which included 4 new songs. The 10-minute funk classic Do I Do? That Girl, Frontline, a narrative about a soldier in the Vietnam War that Wonder wrote and sang in the first person, and Ribbon in the Sky, one of his many classic compositions. He also gained a number 1 hit that year in collaboration with Paul McCartney and their paean to racial harmony, Ebony and Ivory. Also in 1982, Wonder invited Raymond Kurzweil to his Los Angeles recording studio, Wonderland, and asked if we could use the extraordinarily flexible computer control methods on the beautiful sounds of acoustic instruments. In response, and with Wonder as musical advisor, Kurzweil founded Kurzweil Music Systems, which unveiled the Kurzweil K250 in 1984. In 1983, Wonder performed the song, Stay Gold, the theme to Francis Ford Coppola's film adaptation of S. E. Hinton's novel The Outsiders. Wonder wrote the lyrics. In 1983, he scheduled an album to be entitled People Work, Human Play. The album never surfaced, and instead 1984 saw the release of Wonder's soundtrack album For the Woman in Red. The lead single, I Just Called to Say I Love You, was a number 1 pop and R&B hit in both the United States and the United Kingdom, where it was placed 13th in the list of best-selling singles in the UK published in 2002. It went on to win an Academy Award for Best Song in 1985. Wonder accepted the award in the name of Nelson Mandela and was subsequently banned from all South African radio by the government of South Africa. Incidentally, on the occasion of his 35th birthday, Stevie Wonder was honored by the United Nations Special Committee Against Apartheid for his stance against racism in South Africa that same year. The album also featured a guest appearance by Dionne Warwick, singing the duet, It's You, with Stevie and a few songs of her own. Following the success of the album and its lead single, Wonder made an appearance on The Cosby Show, in the episode, A Touch of Wonder, where he demonstrated his ability to sample. The following years in Square Circle featured the number 1 pop hit Part-Time Lover. The album also has a top 10 hit with Go Home. It also featured the ballad, Overjoyed, which was originally written for Journey Through The Secret Life of Plants but did not make the album. He performed Overjoyed on Saturday Night Live when he was the host. He was also featured in Chaka Khan's cover of Prince's I Feel For You, alongside Mel Mel playing his signature harmonica. In roughly the same period he was also featured on harmonica on Eurythmics' single, There Must Be an Angel, and Elton John's, I Guess That's Why They Call It the Blues. Wonder was in a featured duet with Bruce Springsteen on the all-star charity single for African famine relief, We Are the World, and he was part of another charity single the following year, the AIDS-inspired, That's What Friends Are For. He played harmonica on the album Dreamland Express by John Denver in the song, If Ever, a song Wonder co-wrote with Stephanie Andrews. Wrote the track, I Do Love You, for the Beach Boys' 1985 self-titled album, and played harmonica on Can't Help Lovin' That Man, on the Broadway album by Barbra Streisand. In 1987, Wonder appeared on Michael Jackson's Bad album, on the duet Just Good Friends. Jackson also sang a duet with him entitled Get It on Wonder's 1987 album Characters. This was a minor hit single, as were Skeletons and You Will Know. Wonder played harmonica on a remake of his own song, Have a Talk with God, on John Gibson's album Body and Soul. Wonder continued to release new material, but at a slower pace. He recorded a soundtrack album for Spike Lee's film Jungle Fever in 1991. From this album, singles and videos were released for Gotta Have You, Fun Day, These Three Words, and Jungle Fever. The B-side to the Gotta Have You single was Feeding Off the Love of the Land, which was played during the end credits of the movie Jungle Fever but was not included on the soundtrack. A piano and vocal version of Feeding Off the Love of the Land was also released on the Nobody's Child, Romanian Angel Appeal compilation. Conversation Piece and the live album Natural Wonder were released in the 1990s. In 1992, Wonder went to perform at Panafest, a new international festival of music held biennially in Ghana. It was during this trip that he composed many of the songs featured on Conversation Piece, and he would describe in a 1995 interview the powerful impact his visit to that country had. I'd only been there for 18 hours when I decided I'd eventually move there permanently. In 1994, as co-chair of Panafest that year, he headlined a concert at the National Theatre in Accra, capital city of Ghana. Among his other activities, Wonder played harmonica on the track Deuce for the 1994 tribute album Kiss My Ass, classic Kiss regrouped. Sang at the 1996 Summer Olympics closing ceremony, collaborated in 1997 with Babyface on How Come, How Long, a song about domestic violence that was nominated for a Grammy Award, and played harmonica on Sting's 1999, Brand New Day. In early 1999, Wonder performed in the Super Bowl 33 halftime show. In May 1999, Rutgers University presented Wonder with an honorary doctorate degree in fine arts. In December 1999, Wonder announced that he was interested in pursuing an intraocular retinal prosthesis to partially restore his sight. In 2000, Wonder contributed 2 new songs to the soundtrack for Spike Lee's Bamboozled album. Wonder continues to record and perform, though mainly occasional appearances and guest performances. He did do 2 tours, and released 1 album of new material, 2005's A Time to Love. In June 2006, Wonder made a guest appearance on Busta Rhymes' album The Big Bang, on the track Been Through the Storm. He sings the refrain and plays the piano on the Dr. Dre and Sha Money XL produced track. He appeared again on the last track of Snoop Dogg's 2006 album The Blue Carpet Treatment, Conversations. The song is a remake of Have a Talk with God, from Songs in the Key of Life. In 2006, Wonder staged a duet with Andrea Bocelli on the latter's album Amore, offering harmonica and additional vocals on Canzoni Stenate. Wonder also performed at Washington, D.C.'s 2006 A Capitol 4th celebration. His other key appearances include performing at the opening ceremony of the 2002 Winter Paralympics in Salt Lake City. The 2005 Live 8 concert in Philadelphia, the pregame show for Super Bowl 40 in 2006, the Obama inaugural celebration in 2009, and the opening ceremony of the 2011 Special Olympics World Summer Games in Athens, Greece. Wonder's first new album in 10 years. A Time to Love was released in October 2005 to lower sales than previous albums, and lukewarm reviews, most reviewers appearing frustrated at the end of the long delay to get an album that mainly copied the style of Wonder's classic period without doing anything new. The first single, So What the Fuss, was released in April. A second single, From the Bottom of My Heart, was a hit on adult contemporary R&B radio. The album also featured a duet with India Arie on the title track, A Time to Love. Wonder did a 13-date tour of North America in 2007, starting in San Diego on August 23. This was his first U.S. tour in more than 10 years. On September 8, 2008, he started the European leg of his Wonder Summer's Night Tour, the first time he had toured Europe in more than a decade. His opening show was at the National Indoor Arena in Birmingham, in the English Midlands. During the tour, he played 8 UK gigs, 4 at the O2 Arena in London, 2 in Birmingham and 2 at the MEN Arena in Manchester. Wonder's other stop in the tour's European leg also found him performing in the Netherlands, Sweden, Germany, Norway, France, Italy and Denmark. Wonder also toured Australia and New Zealand in October and November. His 2010 tour included a 2-hour set at the Bonnaroo Music Festival in Manchester, Tennessee, a stop at the Hard Rock Calling Festival in Hyde Park, London, and appearances at England's Glastonbury Festival, Rotterdam's North Sea Jazz Festival, a concert in Bergen, Norway, and a concert in Dublin, Ireland, at the O2 on June 24. Wonder's harmonica playing can be heard on the 2009 Grammy-nominated Never Give You Up, featuring C.J. Hilton and Raphael Sadiq. Wonder sang at the Michael Jackson Memorial Service in 2009, at Etta James's funeral in 2012, a month later at Whitney Houston's memorial service, and at the funeral of Aretha Franklin in 2018. Wonder appeared on singer Celine Dion's studio album Loved Me Back to Life, performing a cover of his 1985 song, Overjoyed. The album was released in October 2013. He was also featured on 2 tracks on Mark Ronson's 2015 album Uptown Special, and the track Stop Trying to Be God on Travis Scott's 2018 album Astroworld. In October 2020, Wonder announced that he had a new vanity label released via Republic Records, So What the Fuss Records, marking the first time his music was not released through Motown Records. The announcement was paired with the release of two singles, Can't Put It in the Hands of Fate, a socially conscious funk track, and Where Is Our Love Song, whose proceeds will go towards the organization Feeding America. In June 2021, Wonder appeared in the documentary Summer of Soul, directed by Amir Questlove Thompson, showing the Harlem Cultural Festival of 1969. In never-before-seen footage, a young 19-year-old Stevie Wonder is seen performing in front of thousands of people in Harlem. His performance shown in the documentary included It's Your Thing by the Isley Brothers and a drum solo. Wonder talks about the turning point made in his career during this time and how this helped him get out of being seen as just a child star. In October 2022, Wonder celebrated his 50th anniversary of his project Talking Book. On August 30, 2024, Wonder released his first new song in 4 years, Can We Fix Our Nation's Broken Heart? On July 3, 2025, he headlined at the Lytham Festival, in Lytham St Anne's, Lancashire, UK. Wonder has been married 3 times. He was married to Motown singer-songwriter and frequent collaborator Syreeta Wright from 1970 until their amicable divorce in 1972, after which their musical collaboration continued. From 2001 until 2015, he was married to fashion designer Kai Millard. In October 2009, Wonder and Millard separated. Wonder filed for divorce in August 2012 and the divorce was finalized in 2015. In 2017, he married Tomika Bracey. Wonder has 9 children with 5 women. 2 were born to Yolanda Simmons, whom Wonder met when she applied for a job as secretary for his publishing company. Simmons gave birth to Wonder's daughter Aisha Morris on February 2, 1975. After Aisha was born, Wonder said, "She was the one thing that I needed in my life and in my music for a long time." Aisha was the inspiration for Wonder's hit single, Isn't She Lovely? She is now a singer who has toured with her father and accompanied him on recordings, including his 2005 album A Time to Love. Wonder and Simmons also had a son, Kada, in 1977. In 1983, Wonder had a son named Mumtaz Morris with Melody McCulley. Wonder also has a daughter, Sophia, and a son, Kwame, with a woman whose identity has not been publicly disclosed. Wonder has 2 sons with second wife Kai Millard Morris. The elder is named Kayland, and he occasionally performs as a drummer on stage with his father. The younger son, Mandela Kajay Carl Stevland Morris, was born on May 13, 2005. Wonder's 9th child, his second with Tomika Robin Bracey, was born in December 2014, amid rumors that he would be the father to triplets. This turned out not to be the case, and the couple named their new daughter Nia, meaning purpose. On May 31, 2006, Wonder's mother Lula Mae Hardaway died in Los Angeles at the age of 76. During his September 8, 2008, UK concert in Birmingham, he spoke of his decision to begin touring again following his loss. "I want to take all the pain that I feel and celebrate and turn it around." At a concert in London's Hyde Park on July 6, 2019, Wonder announced that he would be undergoing a kidney transplant in September. The procedure was successfully performed in December 2019. Wonder has been a longtime Baptist affiliated with black churches. He was introduced to transcendental meditation through his marriage to Syreeta Wright. Consistent with that belief system, Wonder became vegetarian, and later a vegan, singing about it in October 2015 on The Late Late Show with James Corden during the show's Carpool Karaoke segment. Wonder joined Twitter on April 4, 2018, and his first tweet was a 5-minute video honoring Martin Luther King Jr. Dozens of famous personalities were rounded up in the video, which was titled, "The Dream Still Lives." Each person involved shared their dream, calling back to King's popular speech in 1963. Wonder's first tweet took the internet by storm, and he also encouraged viewers to share their own videos about their dreams with the hashtag #DreamStillLives. On August 21, 2024, Wonder performed "Higher Ground" at the 2024 Democratic National Convention, endorsing Vice President Kamala Harris in the 2024 United States presidential election. Wonder also briefly spoke at the convention, saying, "This is a moment to tell your children where you were and what you did. When we stand between history's pain and tomorrow's promises, we must choose courage over complacency." On May 13, 2024, Wonder's 74th birthday, Ghana's President Nana Akufo-Addo conferred Ghanaian citizenship on him. Wonder took the oath of allegiance and received his certificate of citizenship at Jubilee House in Accra. Wonder has 25 won Grammy Awards, as well as a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award in 1996. He also received many honorary degrees in recognition of his music career. He is one of only 4 artists and groups who have won the Grammy for Album of the Year 3 times as the main credited artist, along with Frank Sinatra, Paul Simon, and Taylor Swift. Wonder is the only artist to have won the award with 3 consecutive album releases. This is all we can bring for now. Please like, subscribe, and hit the bell if you've enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching and keep a date for another exciting video.